Let's see if I can do this right. Boldog Anyu Nap. Boldog Anyu Nap, which I think is Happy Mother's Day in Hungarian. I think Boldog is happy. I know Anyu is mother. And Nap, N-A-P, Nap, Nap. We would say it Nap, but I think that the Hungarians say it Nap. So Boldog Anyu Nap, something like that. But, hmm, you know what? Oh, it's Mother's Day today. Yeah, I'm sorry. I've been, you know, Mercedes and her son came in a week ago. Would have been a week ago this morning that they came in. And boy, what a week it's been. You know, it's been a good week, all in all. You know, I not everything went as I had planned, but you know what in life does. And just to give you a little bit of a recap, I picked them up on Sunday and we spent the day here at my house. And then Monday, we got in the camper and we drove. Uh, I got to think about this because I think we took the camper on Monday. No, maybe we didn't. So we drove out to see the Shoshone Falls, which is a 2 hour drive from here. And then actually we did we did take the camper. We drove out and saw Shoshone Falls in Twin Falls, Idaho, about 2 hours from here. And then we went and and saw the sand dunes on Tuesday. After waking up, we spent Monday night in a in a in a vineyard and went to a hot spring on Monday night. And then Tuesday we woke up and we went to see the sand dunes, beautiful sand dunes. And then we came back home and my friend Paul showed up. And then on Wednesday, the four of us went to the hot springs, came back home, and then on Thursday we got in the car and we with the camper and we went north. And I had anticipated camping somewhere by Redfish Lake, but a lot of the campgrounds are closed until Memorial Day here in Idaho. So whereas I had anticipated camping, you know, up on Redfish Lake in Stanley, you know, that was closed and there was still a fair amount of snow in the forest. So we headed over to Challis Hot Springs, and we did Challis Hot Springs, and that would have been Thursday. And then Friday, we drove to, oh goodness gracious, I'm having a memory lapse where we went on Friday. But we ended up, oh goodness gracious, you know, I'm trying to think about this. We've been just going all over the place. It's kind of like what you had for dinner last night. You know, do you remember? Or what you had for lunch yesterday? But anyway, we ended up going to, where did we end up going to? We ended up going to, well, Thursday, Friday. Oh, that's right. Friday we woke up in Challis and we ended up spending Friday night in Craters of the Moon National Park. That's what we did. I'm getting all mixed up. I forgot today was Sunday. But we spent Friday night in Craters of the Moon National Park. And then and then came home yesterday after visiting the Silver Lake Preserve. So anyway, I gotta tell you, you know what? I drive around. I'm driving around in the camper, the truck with pulling the camper, and I can't help but to think back to the days when I was just kind of roaming around. And I gotta tell you, unless something happens in my life, those days are behind me. And it's nice to be at this spot and this position in life, having had the opportunity over the last 15, 20 years to travel as extensively as I have, adventurously as I have. But boy, I'm away from home for more than a couple days, and I want to get back to the comforts of my home and my garden and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, we stopped yesterday at this Mountain Home RV Resort. What a spectacular RV resort. Mountain Home is probably a good 30, 40 minutes from where I live, if not even a little bit longer, maybe an hour. Air Force Base is in Mountain Home. But there was this RV park, 250 spaces, and a lot of them are full-time residents. And the gentleman that I was talking to that was helping us empty the tanks on the RV, he was an older gentleman in his 70s, nice guy, rides around on the golf cart in the park, and guides people to their spaces. And I don't know why I asked him if he lives there. One would think that he did, but interestingly enough, he said a lot of people, there's a waiting list to live there. And he said a lot of people, they buy these big RVs, these beautiful big RVs, and with all the fixings, the kitchen and the just everything. They buy these big old RVs, and then they go park them at a mobile home park such as this one, and just pay a rent like $500 a month, and that's it. $500 a month. That's their rent, and then they have their RV on the space. So anyway, what motivated me to do this video this morning was to share with you the garden. I asked Mercedes if she wanted to be on the video. She's sitting out in the backyard, just enjoying a beautiful morning here in Idaho, and she didn't want to be on the video, which is okay with me. So anyway, let me take you for a walk out to the. Let me take you for a walk. Turn the camera around here. I'll try not to get Mercedes into the video. I know a lot of you would. I know a lot of you would like to see her, but okay. Here we go. All right. Okay, she just nodded her head and kind of smiled at me as I walked by. But no, I just want to give you an update on the goings-ons here. I'm kind of struggling with something here, and I don't know how well you can see it, but as you look at that lawn, see, I have large areas that are growing a lot quicker than others. And I can't quite figure out why. I don't know if it's I can't imagine it's the soil in certain areas as opposed to the other. My only thinking is that maybe it has something to do with the drainage. Maybe there's certain areas that are lower, higher than others. And maybe that's what's causing that. You might be able to see what I'm talking about, right there. But if I flip it around over here, see, I don't have that problem here. Here the lawn is just, well, relatively speaking, the lawn is just absolutely beautiful. So I don't know what the issue is with that. But over here, look at my strawberries. See, the strawberries are they're blossoming. They got beautiful blossoms. Now I planted bush beans in here. I kind of thinned out my strawberries, and I planted bush beans in between the strawberries plants. Those are good. Those are supposed to be good companion plants for strawberries. But anyway, what I'm learning. This is the constant learning process, and I think I forgot to turn off the garden hose, which I did. But I'm learning. Today I learned something called foliar, Foilar, foliar feeding. Foliar feeding. And, you know, I've got these potato plants. Look at these potato plants. So these potato plants are doing really, really well. Well, I was listening or watching a YouTube video where you want to put in a certain type of fertilizer, and it'll help produce promote you know, root growth and more potatoes and what have you. So the product that I was going to use said that if you want to do foliar feeding, you know, you mix 1 tablespoon with you know, with water, and then you spray it on the leaves. So you see, that's what I'm using, urea. Oh, look at right up on the top there. And God said, "Let the earth bring forth grass, the herb yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit after his kind, whose seed is in itself upon the earth." And it was so. Genesis 1:11. But this is urea. I think this is urine. I think that urea is a nice way to say urine, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, so I mix that, kind of like little granules. Mix that with water, and then I'm going to spray that on the leaves. But you know, the garden is taken off. There's always things, you know, it's interesting with the garden. There's always things that are growing that you have no clue what they are. You know, like this. I planted this here, you see, and it's really going to town. I have no idea. I just have no idea what that plant is. But maybe Phil will know. Kind of looks like an oversized weed. I hope it's not a weed. That would be disappointing to let it grow, you know, all summer long, only to have somebody say, "Why you got a weed growing in your garden?" But no, it's all doing well. I planted some bok choy. Some bok choy is growing. I always come in and I try to snap off the, you know, the browning leaves without necessarily hurting the plant. But boy, those potatoes look good. And then over here I put in my peppers. I got my peppers going. So all the peppers are going over here. Just beautiful. Garlic. I planted garlic. The garlic is going. And my lettuce. Oh boy, folks, having fresh lettuce from the garden, it's just fantastic. You see all my lettuce? That I just come in and I pick off the leaves, make myself a salad, and come back a day or two later and the leaves are right back, you know, ready to be eaten again. Over here I've got my carrots are coming up. See, all my carrots are coming up. And this here, I think, is my broccoli. Look how big this plant is. You know, this plant is just taking off. And then down here I've got my radishes. So all my radishes are growing. I got my kale. And my peas. My peas were a slow starter. You see? Those were a slow starter, but you know, the peas are taking off. I planted some beautiful sunflowers along the back that are going to grow up 12 feet. And this week, the neighbor and I, my neighbor behind me, we're going to cut this big tree down. Not quite sure how the heck we're going to do it, but we're going to climb up there somehow. We're going to cut that big tree down one way or another. But anyway, folks, everything's growing. There's the statue Mr. Crowley gave me, the patron saint of gardening. My fava beans, you can see all the fava beans are doing exceptionally well. So, very interesting. Beautiful. And all my tomatoes. I don't know when the last time I did a video, but I sank these posts. You see, I sank all of these these posts in here. I got what six posts that are 8 feet tall, set into. So I put my cup down. Set into cement. You see that? And I'm going to run a cable right across the top, an airplane cable right across the top, and I'm going to come down with a string and tie off my or tie up my my tomatoes. But anyway, that's about it, folks. That's about it. My tomatillos. And my tomatillos are going to town. Over here I've got my, oh, this is my nasturtium. Nasturtium, I think it's called. That's supposed to, it's a flower that's supposed to help repel pest. And that's going along really well. Look at my pumpkin. See my pumpkin? Pumpkin is doing really well. And then I have a blossom. You see my Henry clematis is actually blossoming. So, all right, folks, that's about it. I hope you have a great day. Have a nice Mother's Day. Okay, bye-bye.